Hi everyone, Matthew here at AAWeatherWatch, taking a look at the weather through the course of the coming week, the final full week of October, Monday the 23rd through to Friday the 27th of October. And there is some good news this week, obviously after clearly a particularly unsettled period of weather over the last couple of weeks. Obviously the remnants of Hurricane Ophelia a week or so ago and the particularly wet and windy conditions which arrived over the past weekend. So again, the primary good news is no deep areas of low pressure this week, and particularly from the middle of the week onwards, conditions will become generally predominantly dry. Prior to that though, there is some wet weather on the way. We've had some cloudy and damp weather moving eastwards through the course of Monday morning, but there is a clearance approaching from the west, so it's generally an improving scenario through the rest of Monday. There is a deep area of low pressure spinning away within the North Atlantic, but the good news is that feature will remain there and won't approach Ireland over the next day or so. However, there is a region of cloud just to the southwest. This region of cloud here filtering up from the southwest, and that is what is likely to bring a more substantial spell of wet weather later tonight and through into Tuesday. But even that is likely to clear across most areas, but potentially lingering across parts of the south and east on Tuesday afternoon. If we take a look at the latest satellite and rainfall radar imagery, you can see those patchy light rain and drizzle moving east. So certainly nothing more than nuisance value, really. Again, there is a lot of drier and brighter weather in between as well. There is a more pronounced clearance, the back edge, a distinct back edge to the region of cloud, as you can see on satellite imagery, that will continue to filter eastwards through the rest of Monday morning, and particularly so through the rest of Monday afternoon. So brighter and drier conditions filtering across many areas, but perhaps especially so across parts of the north and west. So let's take a look at the forecast charts now and put some details onto the forecast. And again, through the rest of Monday, you can see it is an improving scenario from the west through towards the end of the afternoon. Brighter sunny intervals developing before sunset, again towards late afternoon and just about into the early evening. So a reasonable improvement through the rest of Monday. However, that region of cloud which I highlighted on satellite imagery to the southwest of the country approaches this evening and overnight, and as a result it is a pretty wet start to Tuesday. A more active set of weather systems moves eastwards again through into the early hours of Tuesday and leading to a wet start first thing on Tuesday morning. However, even that wet weather will clear away from most areas, but potentially lingering across more southern and southeastern areas. The further north and west you are through the course of Tuesday afternoon, conditions again improving after the wet start with bright or sunny spells, but the further south and southeast you are, especially across the extreme south of the country, as you can see, wet weather and cloudy weather is likely to linger. Now into Tuesday evening and overnight, and essentially that wet weather may well return northwards to a certain extent across some central and southeastern areas, but will then continue to pull away into Tuesday night. So we move through into Wednesday, and overall it's not a bad start to the day. Perhaps a few scattered showers across parts of the north, but otherwise mainly dry as things stand on Wednesday morning. Through the course of the day and overall, very little change is expected. Fairly dry day, or a useful day of dry weather. Some brighter sunny spells developing as the day progresses too. This is the weather chart for around about in the middle of the afternoon on Wednesday, and again, as you can see, little in the way of any severe or significant or even active weather. A lot of useful dry weather, some brighter sunny spells and variable amounts of cloud. Now, there's certainly some uncertainties over the end of the week, but as ever, these will be addressed and looked at in the midweek update on Wednesday. But through into Thursday and overall, the signal continues for quite a lot of useful dry weather. There is a weak weather front at the moment which may well bring some thicker cloud and patchy rain and drizzle into far southern areas first thing on Thursday. This is the weather chart for around about 6 o'clock on Thursday morning. But otherwise, as Thursday progresses, still a lot of useful dry weather. The cloud perhaps breaking through the afternoon to allow for some bright or sunny intervals. And if I just quickly jump ahead 24 hours, taking a look at Friday, what's forecast to happen at the moment is an area of high pressure. Yes, that's certainly something that I've not said for quite a long time, but high pressure may well become the dominant feature to end the working week, leading to a drop in temperatures, but equally and importantly, potentially leading to a lot of fine and dry weather, but potentially with an increasing risk of overnight fog and frost, given obviously the time of year. So as you can see through the week ahead, not too bad at all. The wettest day certainly Tuesday, and then overall improving from the middle of the week onwards. If we take a look at the temperatures now through the course of the coming week, and overall temperatures through to around about Thursday will generally be slightly above average for the latter half of October, so another relatively mild week ahead. But as I've indicated, that high pressure building in towards the end of the week will likely mean a drop in temperatures by that point. However, through the rest of Monday, temperatures 12, 13, 14 easily achievable, and again in some brighter weather this afternoon, not feeling too bad. Mild tonight and through into Tuesday, and if anything, Tuesday is likely to be the mildest day of the week. Highs quite comfortably 13 to 16 degrees Celsius, perhaps even at locally 17 degrees across some sheltered eastern areas. Through to Tuesday night, and again another mild night. That's certainly the emphasis this week. Certainly no chilly nights or cold nights expected overall. Into Wednesday, maximum temperatures a little bit lower than compared with Tuesday, but still near or slightly above average. 12, 13, 14, perhaps even 15 across some southern and southeastern areas, again possible through the course of Wednesday afternoon. Perhaps something of a cooler night Wednesday into Thursday. As you can see, minimum temperatures 7, 8 or 9 degrees Celsius. And essentially we end the working week with certainly something of a downward trend in temperatures, as you can see here into Friday morning. Perhaps temperatures getting down to around about 5, 6 or 7 degrees. And then we end the working week with maximum temperatures around about 10 to 13 degrees Celsius, which is generally near to average for late October. So let's summarise that in our weekly weather summary. Through the rest of Monday there has been some patchy rain and drizzle, but that will continue to move eastwards, and a clearance following from the west with drier and brighter weather through the afternoon and into the early evening before sunset. Through into Tuesday, and Tuesday is likely to be the most unsettled day of the week. A pretty wet start across many areas, but even across parts of the north and west, conditions will improve with some brighter and sunnier weather developing, but the rain perhaps lingering across the extreme south and southeast. And it will be a very mild day on Tuesday, the mildest day of the week. Into Wednesday, perhaps some patchy rain and drizzle at times, again especially perhaps across some southern areas midweek, but otherwise emphasis is on mainly dry and relatively quiet and benign conditions developing through the second half of the week, and at the moment in time as that high pressure arrives, then the weather potentially settling down more substantially by the time we get to Friday. Mild at first, but then cooler later, especially by Friday. So that's all the latest details for the week ahead. As ever, I'll be back with your midweek update, just ironing out those details for the second half of the week, but clearly, and again, the good news is little in the way of any severe or extreme weather this week, and certainly emphasis on a trend towards generally drier and more settled conditions by the end of the week.